Hey Ella, we can absolutely have a look at this. Let me get a pen going on here. So a couple of different ways we could do this, right? This is really just the sum of all of these terms added together right here. So if you wanted to think about this old school, all this really means is from 1 to 5 on this exponent, we're going to add them together. So this would be like 40 times a half to the 1 exponent plus 40 times a half to the 2 exponent plus 40 times a half to the third, right? Plus 40 times a half to the fourth, plus 40 times a half to the fifth, right? You get, hopefully you see that pattern, to the fifth, right? You could just add all those up and you're going to get your answer. So that's one way to do it. Pardon me. Another way, which is kind of more what MyMathLab is driving at, is to use the formula. So the formula states that the sum of any number can be found in a sequence by finding the first element, a1, multiplying that by 1 minus r to the nth exponent over 1 minus r. Okay, where again a1 is our first exponent, r is the ratio, so usually it's, in this case it's going to be a half. That's what's being multiplied by our term every time. Now in this case, we're not given any of the sums. We don't know what these are, so what we have to do is we have to find a1, and this gets at your question. So to find a1, I'll just do it down here. a1 is going to equal 40 times a half to the first exponent. That's going to give us a1. So 1 half to the 1 is 1 half. Half of 40 is 20. So that's going to give us our a1 right there. So we can basically, and I'll just erase this to save some room, we can just write in 20 right here. I can replace r and n because I know what those are. R is a half. You can use brackets. You probably should. The exponent is 5. This is really 5 too, right? The sum of 5 terms. I don't know if you can hear the kids screaming, but I apologize if you do. So 1 minus a half. So that's going to be our formula right there. So you can evaluate that. You just do order of operations, and you're going to get the same answer. Okay, another way, just as a point of geekery right now, if we go into Desmos, which again I love, it's a beautiful free graphing calculator. Again, you can just type in your SN formula, the sum, or another way, Desmos will actually use sigma notation. So if you go under functions and under the miscellaneous tab, here's our sigma notation, and we're going to go from 1. So I'm going to put 1 for n. Now, notice in the question we use j or I. Desmos uses n, just replace it. Up here, we're going to go 1 to 5, and then you can just start typing in your sum. 40, I'm going to use brackets here, a half to the nth exponent, right? Oh, I totally put that in awful. Should watch what I'm doing. To the n, to the exponent n. Okay, so the sum from 1 to 5 of this sequence right here to the nth exponent comes out to be 38.75. Keep in mind that Desmos, or MyMathLab, sorry, wants fractions. Don't do decimals. So I would put like 38 and 3/4, right? That's how I would do that. So again, just another easy way. I'm not saying like do this every time because, you know, like I want you to understand how to do this, but it's just a great way to check and it's super easy. You can leave this in while you're working on your homework, and if there's another one you want to check, like if you go to like question 32 on your homework, let's just say, and it's kind of the same deal. You work that out, you can come back in and really quickly just change all your numbers by mousing around. So that's another great way. I hope that helps. So to answer your question, A1, we just evaluate the first term at exponent 1. If you have any more questions, let me know. Thanks.